Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's episode. 3 tickets for challengers, please. Welcome to Guilty Pleasures.
Oh my God. It's game time.
Your favorite little thruple of a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's who? I'm obviously Zendaya.
Oh, yeah. You're the girl one. Yeah. Like, this, why do you keep asking this question?
You're right.
Yeah. Guys, we saw America's favorite new horny thruple movie.
Yeah.
And we weren't going to do an episode on this because it's a fantastic film. And that's not normally our domain.
But like we said, one for y'all, one for us.
And we can't stop thinking about it.
I
love it.
have dreams about it.
You
I've
literally
been
have a
dreaming
dream
about
about
it. It's insane that anybody was able to pull this concept off.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
There's so much to talk about, whether it is the lust, the actors, the script, the tennis, the direction, and probably a little bit more about the sex scenes.
Yeah.
Guys, let's just get the fuck into it, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
please.
I want to say this before we go in. The first thing I want to say is I have no idea how to pronounce the director's name.
Luca Guadagnino.
Guadagnino.
Yes.
Guadagnino.
I think it's the same way you say like the guy from Jersey Shore, Vinny Guadagnino. I'm pretty sure it's the same.
Oh.
That's not a joke.
I don't know Vinny's last name at all.
I might have a slight crush on him.
Oh.
He struggles with anxiety, and that just made me be like, you're a human.
Okay.
You're not a caricature.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
So this is Luca Guadagnino's new film. You may know him from Call Me By Your Name.
Suspiria.
He did a
redo.
remake of Suspiria, Bones and All, the Timmy Chalamet movie.
I ate that fuck up. Or whatever.
Does he
says.
eat everything?
Timothy
Yeah,
Chalamet.
he eats people, bones
Yes,
and all.
he does. And he says the name of the movie in it.
And you liked that?
Oh, I thought
didn't
it was
see
a
it.
hoot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, anything Timmy's in, I die for. And yes,
He's great.
great.
So this is his new film starring Zendaya, Mike Feist, Josh O'Connor, and you may know it as the movie with the still scene where Zendaya and 2 boys are kissing on a bed.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'll open with this. The marketing of this movie does not do it justice. I see why they did it.
Yeah.
You obviously, Garrick and I were talking about this. This movie was supposed to come out last year. The strike happened. Zendaya wasn't able to promote it. And the studio went, we're not releasing this.
So smart.
If she can't promote it because the promo is in the sex.
Yep.
It's in that threesome still. It's in that shot.
Yeah.
And so we're all ready and horny, revved up to go see it. None of us had any idea how this was so much more.
This was a sensual film.
Yeah.
This was a sensual film about tennis. And I wouldn't even call it like a sexy thing. It's almost like edging the movie. It's
the movie.
It's getting so close to where you want it to be in a sexual manner, but it never really gets there. It kind of just dances around it the whole time until at the end you're just like, will they just fucking fuck each other?
Yes.
And then
So,
happens.
okay, we're going to have ourselves a fun conversation.
Yeah.
I'll get into a synopsis. I just want to say first, off the bat, I loved this movie.
Yeah.
This is my favorite movie that I have seen in a long time.
More than Poor Things?
I'm putting it with it.
That was my caliber
Great.
for like best movie of the year so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure.
I just had so much fun.
Yeah.
There is a vibrancy and an immediacy to the filmmaking in this that really surprised me. Luca, I was not familiar with your game.
No.
This is like...
it is a director's delight for
It is
sure.
fucking... He is feasting.
Yeah. I was trying to explain it to a friend, and I was like, I think this is the first sports movie where a director brought in a shot list, and then like the crew was like, what are these like little still frames? This doesn't make any sense. And it's just like, oh, these are the shots we're gonna be doing.
I mean, I was thinking, I've obviously just been digesting this for the last almost 24 hours, and I've done a whole synopsis breakdown in my brain about like the exact feelings I had right after versus now. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, to my knowledge, this is the first like sports, I almost want to say romantic comedy in a way that it's funny, but it's not a romantic comedy in the way that you think of cheese 90s like love story, but it really is a sports love story that also is funny. And I have not seen that genre done before.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that it's the movie's not funny. The characters are funny. Like
Yeah, I
the
laughed out loud
characters
a
and
lot.
their reactions and all that stuff
Yeah.
to each other, I guess, are funny.
And what the difference is there are tennis movies that are funny. There are tennis movies that are rom-coms.
Yeah.
But this is a movie that showed what sports feels like.
Yeah.
In a way that I have not seen many movies do. I think this is one of the most effective depictions of athleticism that we've seen on screen. And we're going to talk all about that. But first, a little synopsidoozle.
Good luck.
You've got Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor starring as Art Donaldson and Patrick Zweig, respectively. They are tennis buddies since childhood, the famed Fire and Ice. They're a buddy duo doubles team. And this movie takes a nonlinear approach where you see them playing this game years in the future. Mike Feist is married to Zendaya. Tashi Brooks, a great tennis player in her day.
Duncan.
Tashi Duncan, a great tennis player in her day. And you're watching as these two people who seemingly know each other from the past are going at it in a challengers match in New Rochelle. The movie then brings you on a journey through time as we meet them as teenagers, where Art and Patrick have differing views. One wants to go off to college. The other one wants to go immediately pro. On a fateful night, they meet Tashi Duncan. Awooga! She's the hottest girl that's ever existed. And she's about to be the next biggest thing, not just in tennis, in sports. They flirt. They're both interested in her. She says, "Are you both normally interested in the same girl?" And they say, "No, this usually doesn't happen to us." They get on the bed. They start smooching on her. She starts smooching on them. All of a sudden, we're all smooching each other.
Yeah.
What follows is a love triangle of obsession, of deceit, of
Toxicity.
that fuels
And health.
Competition.
Yeah.
of competition that will
Over
fuel them for the next
13.
10 to 15 years. There's so much more. This is Challengers.
Can we
Oh my
start with what you said about the timeline of this movie was
Perfect.
very stretched out over 13 years.
Whoa. Okay, so as somebody that watches Christopher Nolan regularly, this was very easy to follow.
Okay, see, I wrote that this, for me, the timeline, because what you realize is the characters are ahead of where we are.
Yeah.
So we start in the present, but you're noticing, you're like, okay, I don't know who to root for. I think I like this person. I see something's going on. These people are looking. You don't really know what's going on. So the fun for me of this movie was the journey of the timeline, which was you would go back in time, then you would come back to this present day match, which is like the finals between the two guys. And each time you've come back, my mind had felt different about these characters.
Yeah.
Like when I came back the first time, I was like, oh, fuck this one. And then I came back and I was like, no, fuck this one. And by the end, I was like, they are all toxic. They are all nearly unrootable, if that's a word. Like you don't want to root for anyone in
I was rooting for all of
particular.
them.
I was rooting
Yes,
for
but that's
every
what
single
makes
one.
this good, right? Like you don't want to see a
Yeah.
movie where there's no drama or no complications. But the one, I mean, like if I even call it a guilt, was like, you
Don't do that.
have to put your attention so much on. There was one time jump where I was like, okay, I don't know what time it is. I got lost.
And I think I know
Kelsey's
which
guilt
one it
is that
was. I
she's
think
dumb.
it was like there was.
And you guys were high, so
yeah. So we were
impressive.
definitely following.
You were zoned in.
An easy place to start is the stars of this movie. And I want to start with Zendaya,
Yeah.
who I think has cemented herself as our true movie star of the present.
Yeah.
I think she's the one.
She's the
produced
one.
this movie. She is such a force. It's giving like cuckoo, right? Like the more I thought about her character, the more I got to be like excited for her, where I was like, this is such a rich, dynamic character, where she is positioned when we first meet her in high school / college as sort of like the Coco or like the Serena, the Venus, right? Like she is like the next it girly. And, you know, this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer. She does not get to have that because of an injury. And as a girl who has had multiple knee surgeries, when that fucking
God damn.
knee scene,
That was a crazy scene. But like also that, and I think it's hard to talk about all of the scenes without talking about the direction of the movie.
Yep.
Because that scene, when she actually does like tear her ACL or like tear every ligament in her knee, it zooms in. It's like a double take or a double cut.
They do almost like a jump cut onto it, and so you see like the camera does. It makes you feel what the bone feels.
What the bone feels,
and then
you feel sick. Like I had to blink a little bit because it was so
I threw my
aggressive.
legs up into the air, like I was watching a horror film.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about this is that this is not a movie where I don't. You learn new information and it's fun and it's shocking, but you're not actually surprised by the reveals.
Yeah.
But it's the execution of the reveals
It's
that
all
makes you feel. You
it's
feel
such-
so much during this movie.
Such fucking good execution because you've seen a love triangle before.
Yeah, a
You've
million
always
times.
like you're jumping into a love triangle. And immediately you're like, these two boys like this girl. They're going to start competing over this girl. And if they're doubles partners, that relationship is going to fray. Immediately that you know that. You know it's very clear. It's already in the stars or whatever. But as the movie goes on, you can't take your eyes off of something you already know it will or will not happen.
It's a car crash in slow motion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Because
you're wondering why the car has like morphed into like a transformer by the end. And you get to watch all the parts like being put together.
Right. It's just like, and
Funny.
it's just that's such a nice
The
visual.
The casting, Rick and I were talking about this before we started recording. Like, I could not get over, they use it for the poster of Zendaya's face with this look with her sunglasses and this like mug she's got. And I could not stop thinking about how well this was casted just visually. Their faces are like art, and there, no pun intended, there are so many close-ups in this movie.
Yeah.
And
So many inserts.
her face in so many instances looks like a comic book moment where it's just the eyes where they're squinting and you can tell there's like fighting happening behind it.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is so beautiful.
It's beautiful. There's one like dolly shot of everybody watching the match. Goes all the way from one side of the court to the audience and to her in the audience as everybody's looking left to right as they're watching these two boys rally, and she's just looking straight, just extremely disinterested in what's going on. And in this point in the movie, we know that not only is she disinterested in the game, but she's been disinterested in both of them.
Yes.
As we're watching their relationship unfold.
For the eyes.
She gives a great before we move on to the other
voice.
actors
so much.
Just to put even more praise on her, she gives a great performance. And to close the loop on what I said before, I think she has star power.
Yeah.
What you were talking about is that like intangible where she carries so much weight and emotion behind even the subtlest of looks, where she can hold. I saw someone say that she's able to turn her little eccentricities and her mannerisms into a character's mannerisms in a way that doesn't even feel like acting.
No.
That is, worthy of praise at the highest level. But when I say movie star, I think that she is more powerful in the box office than the industry even realizes.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at Dune, right?
Look at Dune.
And we've all been
us-
giving credit to Timmy Chalamet.
Oh,
the
no.
credit has said that, he's our next movie star. He opened Wonka, he opened Dune. I think it's Zendaya.
Zendaya. Oh, I mean, I think there could be multiple.
It could be both.
It could be both.
Though, like,
It is
and what I loved about this character she plays is like it's a commanding character. Like she plays a woman that when she is in front of those two guys she is fucking owning the scene.
Yeah.
She is owning, she's holding court every time she is in frame. I believed her as a professional tennis player. I play tennis, but like if you would have told me she was a professional tennis player, I'd have been like, yeah, she did.
Have you watched some of the
believed
training?
her.
No.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's basically she treated it like dance. Like she was like next to a professional tennis player and like mirroring her motions exactly. It's fucking
you can
cool,
tell.
man.
There's two moments of her acting I want to bring up just so we can like goo goo gaga over it for a second. And it's just these shots. The iconic threesome shot where they're about to do
Well, if you're
it.
gonna mention the threesome, then we gotta talk about the whole threesome.
No, I just want to say this one
you
shot.
can't just drive by a threesome.
There's
you
a
can't just
look.
a threesome.
There's a look she gives And it's in the trailer.
It's the look.
It's the look
yeah.
where it's from above and it's looking down. And in filmmaking, usually when that camera is looking down on someone, it's very like submissive. You're trying to belittle them. It's making them a little. But this motherfucker gives a look
very
of
powerful.
Like precision, of manipulation, of you can tell she is about to not only play the game of tennis, but she's about to play the game of dick, baby. Because she is look from like pure manipulation to like a smile.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got chills all over my body.
Let's just dive into the threesome scene. Like she's making these two boys make out with each other that have known each other since they were 12
and have never had
kissed a man or anything like that. But it's just like but just like a level of tension that I feel like they've had by setting the scene with like, I taught him how to jerk off and all of that stuff. Earlier in the scene, he was talking about how when they were 12, he found him jerking off and he was like, what are you doing? And just like, oh, I'm just doing this thing. I'm masturbating and I showed him out. Anyway, so it already has this like air of sexual tension between the two of them. And then her kind of using her own sexuality to release their sexuality in like a fucking dope power play.
Yeah.
There's so much I want to talk about here that's so fun. But I think the first thing that really makes this work and the whole movie turns on it is the way that the two, Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor, play like the most wide-eyed they see
teenage boys.
There's a full 12 minutes, 15 minutes of them just ogling over Zendaya, building up to this where they're just like, that is a goddess. That is the most beautiful woman that ever lived. What the
brain
fuck?
no worky when she round.
It's also like this nice like weaving of they love her so much because they like her so much and are attracted to her so much because not only is she beautiful, but she's also the greatest tennis player that they've seen.
And powerful. When they watch her play and she screams, come on!
They're both rock hard.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I've got something to get off my chest, but honestly, this is not the forum. We all carry around different stressors, big and small, and when you keep them bottled up, it can really affect you negatively. I hear that. Therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever is weighing you down. Everyone deserves access to affordable therapy. I believe that. I have been using BetterHelp. It's just really nice to have something that is easy and flexible. Go on a walk and talk to somebody. Or you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Or hey, maybe you have something on your mind. Send them a text right there and then. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/guiltypleasures today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/guiltypleasures.
Yeah, they're like, this is the best. This is incredible. So like their love of tennis is now glommed onto their love of her. And it's just like, the more I love tennis, the more she'll love me. The more I love tennis, the more I love her. I didn't like, a really like cool and nice way. I don't really have like an ending to that thought, but it's just discovering it as I'm talking.
As a quick aside, my favorite moment of the whole movie is after Zendaya leaves the room and Josh O'Connor just smacks Mike Feist's boner and he goes, fuck.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Every guy in the theater flinched in that
felt
moment.
that.
It was so funny.
Like, deep in the bone.
Just flicked him.
Deep in the bone. But like, it's also a very healthy masculine relationship.
Oh
where
my gosh, the friendship.
These two, the friendship is like, we're watching them ogle over her, and it never seems like, this is unbelievable that these two guys would like this girl so much. They're playing it very well. And then also after they make out with each other, they look at each other and they're just like, whatever.
Anyway.
And then this girl, like, let's fucking, who's it gonna be?
Oh, interesting. I don't know that I agree.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, so the whole movie is steeped in this, latent homoeroticism, right? From the beginning of the film.
Yeah, very Fast and Furious.
Yeah. From the beginning of the film, we're in the future and we see Mike Feist training. And don't worry, I will give a full 30 minutes to talk about how much I love Mike Feist.
Okay,
I
great.
know you world are waiting, and we've just said his name. We haven't praised him. We will praise him.
He's great.
But they show him working out and stretching, and even the way that he's stretching, the physical therapist who's a man is leaning down on him, and it's very much.
Is he Patrick or Art?
No,
Art.
that's Art.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Josh O'Connor, I also will praise.
Yeah,
I thought
I like that one.
Yeah, I mean Mike Feist. Anyway, we'll get there.
You like a dark-haired, hairy whore.
Dark-haired, hairy whore.
Yeah.
You know my type, right?
Yeah.
But I'm curious to I want to discuss. Do we think? To me, Luca is filming this movie in the way that old Italian filmmakers would film movies, which is that everything is sex.
Yeah.
I bet you that he's not actually interested in the sexual identities of these characters.
Right.
And I was actually relieved that this movie wasn't about like their repressed sexuality.
Yeah,
and, like,
I was also relieved that it wasn't.
Not that can't make for a great movie.
Yeah.
But I've seen many great movies do that.
Yeah.
And this did something totally different. It was, no, this is a symptom of their obsession and their competition.
Yeah.
And sex is how we are expressing the tennis. And tennis is sex. Everything is sex.
Everything was
I
tennis.
fully believe that it is. So I think that he thought of this where he was just like kind of just chilling or whatever during the pandemic, not doing anything. And then because tennis was the only sport that was really able to be played during the pandemic because it was outdoor, he just heard those grunts and moans as they were going back and
Talk about
forth.
the grunts and moans.
And he would like, as you listen to any tennis, if you watch tennis, you understand where these grunts and moans are coming from. If you are in the other room and you're hearing tennis, you're like, oh my God, the person next to me is watching porn. Like there's no other way that this can be explained. And so hearing all of that and then going straight to your typewriter or your computer and be like, no, I could actually make a movie out of this. I feel like because even feeling the sexuality throughout this movie wasn't a surprise at all. Because I feel like tennis is so inherently sexual. And then also like sports in general is also like there's like some underlying sexuality to sports.
Well, you brought up a good point that tennis is the only one besides fighting, which is also sexy as shit. Tennis is like the only one-on-one sport.
It's one of the only other. It's very sexual. It's like
nature.
And she gets into this, which is the theme of the movie, where she was talking. She has this whole diatribe montage about how tennis isn't a tennis match isn't a match. It's a relationship, and you're watching two people kind of like fall in love with each other through their demonstration of physicality or something like that.
Something about how like it's a relationship and you're doing it right, you're in love. It's like you're dancing. And when she was playing the game, like she doesn't want to defeat people. She wants to
dance.
She wants to be in the game.
Yeah.
I sent this to you guys, but I wrote that what this movie captured that I've never seen captured before is that feeling of ecstasy where you're in the sports flow state against a challenger, where both of you are trying your hardest to win, and it results in you creating something greater than the sum of your parts. It's that vibration of ecstasy and the release when the point is over, where it doesn't actually even matter who won because you're just both enthralled and exalted to have been part of it. It literally is. Yeah. It's a.
When you wrote that, I was like, "Did you take Adderall this morning or something?" Like that just came out of your brain at like 9 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, I think I actually sent that to you at night. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but that is like the movie. The movie posits that tennis is sex, and what the entire movie is Zendaya trying to machinate to. She's trying to move these chess pieces of these two players because she wants to see really fucking good tennis.
I wrote this in my notes. Like they're all addicted to sex, and also sex is tennis.
I don't think they're addicted to sex.
But yes,
I don't think they're addicted to sex.
And it's power with tennis.
Yeah.
She is the most addicted to the power. And with that comes how she uses sex. And sex becomes points in the game. And the game is more than tennis. It's life for them.
Yeah. They're just playing, they're volleying back and forth. I want to ask this question. So Eddie Burback, great YouTuber, friend of the show. I was hanging out with him. He was raving about this movie. And he had his Letterboxd review, which was, I had to break up with my girlfriend because I'll never be 2 twinks for her. And
did I not walk out of this movie last night and the first thing I said was, I don't want anybody to ask me why I'm bisexual ever again.
That's fun.
Just point to the screen.
Yeah.
So, and then he started getting into arguments with his friends because they were like, no, they weren't two twinks. They were straight. But Zendaya, like,
Brought out the twink.
it was. They want her. They are not interested in each other. They're not gay for each other. They're in love with her. And so there was that debate. And I'm curious, what do you guys think and how are you reading the movie? Because I think you could read it and say it was always there, they were always in love, and they were trying to figure out a way to bring it out. Or they're not in love and they're in love with Zendaya and their love for each other. I don't know. I
think they're all in love with each other.
I think that they should all be in a throuple.
They should be. And I stand by this yet again. If we all just opened up a little bit of our minds, the idea of non-monogamy, this wouldn't have happened. But then we wouldn't get this movie.
Non-monogamy.
Unethical non-monogamy. I think they're all in love with each other. He's in love with him loving her. Her's in love with them loving each other. When they're not friends, everybody's miserable. Yeah. When it's just Zendaya and Art, they're not even showing affection. They're not really in love. Yeah. She loves that he's a winner. And when he stops winning, she becomes with the one that she thinks she can bring up from the greatest comeback story of all time.
Yeah. Sequoia pointed out that she never once says, I love you.
Never.
To any of them, even though they both say it to her.
Which brings me to the second scene I didn't get to tell you guys about with Zendaya. My favorite scene maybe of the whole movie. This is in the third act climax, so obviously spoilers if you're this far. But we get Patrick take Zendaya outside. They haven't seen each other in years. Last time they did, they hooked up. She had an affair. They are the day before the tennis match, which you realize they had also hooked up the night before. It's this big tense moment. And he says, I want you to be my coach. Think about it. I'm 250 in the world. Like, think about the comeback from 250 to 1. And on her face, like her eye, like kind of starts twitching, listening to him because
her disappointment face.
She can't help it but realize that is a good idea. She wants to say yes.
It is her own.
She can't.
It is her own like cockiness though, her own arrogance a little bit, where she's like, I could definitely do that with you because I'm good enough of a coach.
Yes.
And you're fine, but I could kind of make you better.
And there's this, so she's like watching him pitch this to her, and it's almost like her internal body is like having a reaction that her face, she's trying to keep a straight face because she
does
just
this thing where one
like,
eye goes little and the other goes big.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
she looks crazy.
Yeah, she does look insane.
And she gives back this like response that is so cutting. It is so fucking hurtful that she's like, you think I would waste an ounce of my breath talking and let alone coaching you? Like, she cuts this man down to size and then fucks him that night. And that's where I went, she's the biggest villain of them all. Yeah. She is the biggest, most toxic villain of them all. And it was so complex. And that's when I realized, like, she doesn't care who's who. She wants the winningest one.
Yeah.
Because she never will get to fulfill her dream.
She wants great tennis.
She wants great tennis. I think that's what it also is. I think that she wants great tennis. And I was like also thinking about, so
she wants a match. There was a part where right after she busted her knee, she's playing and Art is trying to like slowly teach her back. And she's like, play me like you want to fucking beat me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Play me like you want to beat me. Don't go soft on me.
Yeah.
And that is all she wants in every relationship that she sees. The people in front of her, which is why, I'm sure we'll get to the ending later. Yeah. That is why she reacts the way she does. Yeah. That is the way I think that she reacts in that moment with Patrick is because she wants someone to challenge her.
Yeah. Because, but I also think that I challenge her. I also think that the reason why she went back that night is because Art was giving up, and he was like retiring.
Trying to save his career.
She was trying to save his
I
career.
I do think she loves him.
I do.
I think she loves him.
I don't know.
I think they see. Okay, what's crazy is that we're so far in, and we haven't even talked about why I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
But
we can let's just make this one an hour and a half right here.
I think that Tashi loves both of them and loves them in different ways. They are fire and ice. They are this duo, and they bring different things. And I actually read some of the original script. There's a line about how like you can build with ice, you can't build with fire. Fire just destroys things.
Yeah.
Stability.
Uh-huh.
She needs art stability.
But I think they see things in each other that they, and all three of them, I think Art and Patrick clearly love each other.
Yeah.
But so with Tashi and Patrick, I know I'm just throwing names at you guys. This is Zendaya and Josh.
No,
O'Connor.
I know the names.
Well, no, I'm in the audience.
Oh, sorry. I completely forgot that there was an audience. I'm sorry.
we were just so in it.
In this scene that we were talking about, where she like basically says "fuck you" and then fucks him, like literally spits in his face.
Yeah.
And then they.
She has a humiliation kink. I also think.
Yeah.
But he says something to her, which is like, "I'm the only one that can see that you're a monster," or something along those lines.
But that was also in the fight that they had that broke them up in the first place, is that she was also saying like, or he was saying that you want to be, I see who you are, I see what you are, you want me to be a cheerleader and all that stuff, but I'm never going to be that type of person. But please.
And so between the two of them, I think there's this recognition of, at our core, we love tennis more than anything. We are competitors. We are cutthroat. We want to win. We need to win.
Yeah.
And then with Art and Tashi, there's, they obviously have a much more stable relationship. He cares for her. He is the cheerleader year over year. They have a child together. There's this heartbreaking scene when she comes back and he's laying in bed with the kid. You haven't seen Zendaya with her daughter
at all,
even for a minute in this movie.
Yeah, but he knows that she went out.
Yep.
So
So what do you have between the two of them? And there's this scene that has been talked about a lot where, he says he wants to retire. She's like, okay. And then he looks sad. She's like, what do you want me to tell you? That I'll break up with you, that I'm going to leave you if you don't win tomorrow? That's what you want? And they're sitting on the bed. He kind of lays down almost like a baby boy, kisses her knee. She's looking off. And some people are saying, well, she looks disgusted in that scene. She looks like she's disappointed in him. And what I see is heartbreak and also a recognition between the two of them of their heartbreak. So there's the heartbreak that by losing Art, that means Tashi's losing tennis, right? She's been living out her dream vicariously. I think that's a pretty
fair.
That's there. But what I saw in that moment was them seeing each other and the sadness in realizing how addicted they both are, that they see each other's sadness, that they know that through all of this, they can't leave it, they can't let it go. And that's a unique bond that the two of them share that no other combination has. Seeing the way that you're broken and mourning the life lost.
Yeah. This is why I can't call her the villain, because I think that what she did is some of the greatest coaching that will ever exist.
She did the only thing that would save him. That would
not only save him and them, but get him in the mindset to then continue on and win the U.S. Open, which I'm assuming he does.
And you think it's because he knows his wife fucked somebody else that he'll just anger through it?
I think it's because he finally started playing tennis in a way that because he Josh O'Connor, right?
Yeah.
His character Patrick, at the beginning he was like, this is what's wrong with your tennis. You're never like cutthroat or anything like that. You keep on just waiting for other people to make a mistake, right? And so if you go on throughout the
which is literally reflected then in the way that they
in the way
their relationships.
in their relationship, and at the end where he's like, I'm not waiting for a mistake anymore. I'm actually going in, and you'll see it in the when we talk about the end. He like tries to spike. Anyway, he's actually playing with fire while also being ice, and I feel like
nice.
Yeah. And I feel like that coming out kind of reflects, like, in a weird way, Mamba mentality, where with Kobe, if you ever see any...
Oh, Mamba. I heard Mama.
No.
I'm like, what's Mama doing? I'm excited to hear.
God. Mamba mentality, where if you ever watch any interview with Kobe is, goddamn.
I know,
Kobe was such a insane competitor, and like Jordan as well, insane competitor, to where I will do what it takes in order to either get into your head or to become a better basketball player, whether that be go to my teammates, bully them into becoming better, or in Jordan's case, like gamble their winnings away or something like shit like that they would always play. And I always think about this one interview with Kobe where he was just like, yeah, in order to be as good as I am, I had to be a bad brother. I had to be a bad son. I had to be a bad husband. I had to do all of this stuff because all I wanted was to be the best basketball player. I was obsessed.
Yeah.
And I have never seen a sports movie ever come close to that interview and the mentality behind that interview of obsession. And this movie does it flawlessly. Honestly, like
two people,
with two people, with three people, and honestly,
smart.
like moonwalking into this. It's just like you guys have all been fucking around when talking about sports. Yeah. This is what it actually is.
It's so and so smart to show that obsession through relationships, through characters. Yeah. And we were remarking too, like how funny that that the best depiction of sports in any movie that I have seen is the movie about the two boys kissing on the bed.
Right? It's a threesome movie.
Because it's what we all understand. We all understand sex and sports.
We want to see them kiss.
And that is like American movies are very prudish, especially increasingly so. And there's something it's not how my brain works as a storyteller, but the Italian filmmakers are like, everything is sex. You make the coffee in the morning, it is sex.
Yeah.
You play tennis, that is sex.
Yeah.
It is the climax at the end, and it's just like, yeah, I get it, man.
I think that
it's
might
all
be
sex.
how I live. That I might be like more Italian than I think, which makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, you got to go to Italy.
So happy.
You would be there.
I'm like 10% Italian.
If I can, we'll come back to the characters, but I just want to take a moment to talk about why I actually love this movie, because we're 30 minutes in and we haven't hit on it yet. It is the style and the direction. It is fucking
the
electric.
An actual visionary.
And the score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, which is, they did The Social Network, formerly of Nine Inch Nails. It is just this pulsing, like almost German techno music.
Club synth that comes out of no. I loved that they just would play it in the middle of dialogue. Yeah. And you're like, shit.
I thought it was comedically pornographic.
Yes.
Or it's just
purpose.
like, this is like, or like Bound Chicka Wow Wow type
and
fucking
sticking
music.
to it, like committing to that bit of it being like that.
It was it had the sultriness, but also like it was this like driving intensity where you could feel.
Right.
So the movie opens. We're in New Rochelle. You're watching this like tennis match between these two guys, like blah blah blah, and then there's a wide shot of tennis back and forth, and all of a sudden it just. And the camera just starts pushing in pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
And then right in the middle, like you see it, there's Zendaya. And that is her introduction in this movie. So there's tennis, there's all this stuff going on. Long pushing. And I just curled my hand into a ball and went, let's fucking go. Said that. Can I tell you? I said let's fucking go out loud, involuntarily, 3 times during this film.
Yeah, I
this
more
movie
than like
got
a
3 let's fucking goes.
Movie for you.
The meme that it was. It felt like this is a drama, and it's a psychosexual drama.
Yeah,
but it has the energy of
cocaine,
of fucking like Run Lola Run. Yeah. It is fast
but so slow. Like everything is in slow motion. Talking about like the style, right? That's why when I came out last night, like my first comment was about bisexuality, but my second was like, I felt like the runtime is 2 hours and 11 minutes. And I was like, it's 11 minutes too long because they stretch out. Nothing is more disorienting than German club synth with eons of slow motion shots. Some frame rates really choppy for some reason. Some super fucking smooth. Some ultra macro shot where they're sweating so much you feel wet all of a sudden. Like
there's
you're like,
some audacious shots in this. I mean, you have like
some cheesy.
Some really worked for me. Some worked less. But he fucking swung.
All of them worked for me.
Like you become the tennis ball at some point. And you're like, oh. All right, come on.
They introduce body cam footage towards the end of the movie where you are like, imagine a police body cam POV with that shakiness.
I mean, they're always off, so nobody can imagine them.
Hey.
But you have that, but it's in a tennis match, so you're like you are the body of the tennis player.
Yeah.
You have one of my favorite shots is they do a glass bottom tennis court with the lines in the body.
That was for me.
That
I was
was-
like,
Oh, it's so
fuck
sick.
off. That shit, that was
That
sick.
goes
That was
so
sick.
hard.
That was so
it
good.
gives like kid in film school who realize they can use a glass like shard for something.
Oh, I was
where you're
so
like,
on board.
That was sick.
The camera's underneath them and you're watching their feet on a tennis court. I'm like, yeah, come on, man, this rips.
Yeah, that was
You
good.
have like
so
it
much
also,
dolly upside down flipping. Like,
yeah,
rig work.
it was also that under the court shot was like a setup for several other under the court shots, and I guess there was like a really, really fucking good one of like towards the end of their match where Art is just sweating down onto the camera, and you're like, fuck, man, this is taking a lot out, because like nobody really thinks about the fact that tennis matches can go on for 2 days.
Dog, it was
Like
so, and they make a meal. And look, I get why, right? Like your brain needs time to process that. You are watching a tennis match, the stakes of that match, the stakes of the relationship between Zendaya, the relationship between the guys, the relationship of like their, like you have to process a lot as well as it like feeling into, like I get it, but it was
yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. I think at multiple points I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
So this is because you said this to us when you got out, and this is just where we differ. Of you were like, well, I get
got
it.
it.
I know what you're telling me, but to me, the movie is not a triumph in its. I think the script is excellent, but it's not in what happens.
It's not in,
It's how it happens and
Yeah.
how it makes you feel.
I think
and
I'm too TikToked. I'm too TikTok in that you gave me a close up. I felt the emotion. I was like, I get it. I understand the stakes. I am ready to see the next shot. Because it was very long, slow motion shots.
I like that.
Pop a little other
like,
with us next time. See how you feel.
I like
that's
that.
what it is.
I like that one scene
Frame rate will
of
feel
her,
different.
like after she gets her injury and realizes that she'll never play again or play professionally again, and she's just under the tree, and it just like has like a slow zoom onto like her realizing that fact, and it just kind of stays on her face for a while.
I cried.
Yeah,
It fucked me up because that's when you realize like your life is different.
yeah,
now.
it's different, and it's not over, but I have to make some changes, and then it immediately jumps to like 3 years later when she's like being asked to be a coach.
Yeah,
And this is other like going back to the three of them needing each other, right? So I feel like, and please correct me if you feel like I'm wrong. I think that Art is the most and more talented tennis player,
correct.
but doesn't love tennis
Correct.
that much.
Wait, no. You
Yeah.
no.
Oh, no.
Okay, see. Yeah,
Wait.
see, this is what I feel like.
No.
This is what I feel like. But wait. So I think that he's the more talented one, right? And doesn't love it as much. I feel like she is talented and
loves
also
it.
has drive but can't play anymore. And I feel like Patrick is passionate but not as talented as Art.
They switch at some point,
But
I think.
I think that the reason why this is such a hard fight for him is that even though Art can beat a lot of players, he still can't beat Patrick.
So I think we're gonna realize that we mean the same thing.
Yeah.
But Patrick has the raw talent.
Yes.
So,
okay.
So and this I know it because I read this parts of the script.
Oh,
again
okay,
today
cool.
To remind myself. So
Yeah.
Patrick he's the fire, but he's undisciplined. He thinks that he can just rely on his raw talent, and so Tashi has this thing. She calls him out. It's like, what, you think people just fucking tell you that you're special, and so no coach wants to ruin the magic that you've got because they don't want to sully you. So you think that you're just. She says to him, you're just gonna try and coast on raw talent, and that's gonna fuck you up. Whereas Art, he will be a better player than you because he's going to win the points that matter.
He's got the craftsmanship. He's willing to put in the years.
I shouldn't say talent. I think he's the better. Art was the better tennis
Art
player.
has the better career, and it's because of the discipline. And then what I just said,
Tashi.
he says to him in the sauna where he goes, tennis isn't about winning points. It's about winning the points that
Where they
matter.
matter.
And you don't know how to fucking do that. But that's why they keep showing like Patrick has this stupid serve where he's never learned how to serve correctly. His form is wrong. It's like when a football player does a sidearm throw, but it's like, okay, I guess it works for you. Don't bother learning the mechanics.
Mahomes.
Right. But that is like, that then also shows their difference in how they approach relationships, where Patrick is like, I'm not going to put in the work. I'm going to fuck you. We are going to have this raw attraction. That's what we got going on. Whereas Art is like, no, I'm going to support you.
It's the relationship that they have with Zendaya too. Patrick was all like passion, like just fucking. Oh, I thought you were talking about their tennis game.
Okay.
But they say that in the movie
It's the same.
multiple times. Multiple times they say this line. Are we still talking about tennis?
Yeah.
Can we talk about tennis? Like they are always.
We're always talking about tennis.
Always talking
Yeah,
about
because
tennis.
she believes that tennis is a relationship, and it's like if we're talking about a relationship, we're also talking about tennis.
Mike Feist is a national treasure.
Yeah.
I love this man.
Yeah.
He is a Broadway superstar. He was in Newsies. He was in Dear Evan Hansen.
Dear Evan Hansen! I saw him originally.
I saw him as well, and he is wonderful. Like revelatory, so good. He is our in Spielberg's West Side Story, and I thought was by far, not like by a little bit, he is by far the best part of that movie. I was
West Side
deeply
Story?
disappointed that he was not nominated for an Oscar for that. I thought he is so fucking good, and to see him now, like, look, there's many people, especially people in the Broadway world, they've been we've been known that Mike Feist is a star, but watching him, get his flowers, it's very exciting.
See, there's a tiny part of me, and maybe it's because I come from musical theater, that as soon as that motherfucker opened his mouth, I went, theater boy.
Yeah.
The way you're saying that is a theater boy. You sound like a theater boy.
Why is it? Because he's enunciating?
It's the way he talks. He's got like this kind of automatic.
Maybe he can't cut off
Patrick,
the
maybe we're all not
Newsies.
savants like you.
Yeah, he can't cut off the Newsies accent. It gave me like, he was so beautiful. He's cut from stone. I get why they cast him as that, and it was perfect casting.
Yeah.
But just a little bit. You put him next to Zendaya. You put him next to the Crown guy. He's looking a little theater boy.
So Josh O'Connor, I was not familiar with. I'd never watched The Crown.
I'm not familiar with your game.
I think that was one of the best, like my first impression performances that I have seen. It is that dude rips in this movie.
Yeah.
He gives everyone knows this guy. Everyone knows the guy who's kind of mischievous but cocky, laid back. He always knows what to say.
Yeah, somebody who will slap your boner. He knows like
He's giving the nut taps.
So like usually the defining characteristic between like American actors being American and British actors being American is that you can notice like the cultural differences in their performances.
Not this man.
Couldn't even see it here.
I would have told you Blonde Theater Boy was more British.
I thought he was
than
British.
that guy.
I was like, oh, he's the British one. He's probably American.
I looked up interviews of this guy. He is the most mild-mannered, sweet little British man
He's
who
also
just loves
33.
talking about Ratatouille.
If you want to date
Every
me,
interview, he's talking about Ratatouille.
That's so
I'm
funny.
available.
He's got the biggest ears, and
He wants to do the live action Ratatouille. Is that what you're saying?
He'd be perfect at it.
Everyone,
Let me be the fucking chef.
everyone gives a great performance in this movie.
Yeah.
I was floored by him. And obviously he's got the fun role. He's the fire.
Yeah.
He's the fuck up.
Yeah.
You think about the characterization in this movie, and that's something that I liked a lot too, is that every character was very complex, very deep, multifaceted, like going against their own self-interests. And he is a character. He's a rich kid cosplaying as a poor guy. He's sleeping in his car. He maybe has a drug problem that we see in one shot, and
might be bisexual.
Might be bisexual, swiping with men,
hooking up with whoever he can just to get a room. But you get like a person who comes from a rich family, but then says, I'm going to live the life of
a pauper,
of being poor and roaming the streets. That's someone who's chaos.
That is someone self-sabotaging.
Well, yeah, it's self-sabotaging, but it's also someone who has nothing to lose because they know they have something to catch them.
Yeah.
And that is just, it's a very small detail that you could watch this whole movie and miss and go, wait, he has rich parents? Why? They never show that.
Yeah.
But they say
it layers his backstory and tells you and tells him as an actor, I can play this like a chaos agent because I'm not fighting for my next meal.
Exactly.
I'm doing this because I like the struggle.
Right.
Yeah, I like the chaos, which is why every time he has revealed to be like mischievous or villainous or dubious or does something, he has this smile.
Yeah.
He has this one-sided smirk.
He's never disappointed. Like even the sauna scene
Yes.
where he like kind of
He's
tells
getting
him
ripped
off.
to shreds.
He's getting ripped to shreds, and he's still like
smiling.
smiling a little bit.
When
he's
Zendaya
just like,
serves her monologue to him, he's fucking,
yeah.
here's my number.
Yeah.
Call me when you change your mind.
He's just like,
So my like let's fucking go, basically entering the final reel of the movie. It's like the last, full sequence.
Are we talking about the Chekhov's gun or are we not?
I don't know. I feel like I'll say it in a way that people know, but I don't want to say it all the way.
Yeah.
I think
The thing that
so
makes
we've
the
got
whole holy
40
shit
minutes
moment
left.
at
What?
the end. The whole fucking
Got it.
holy shit
Okay,
moment
fair
at the
enough.
end.
with, you're talking about his little smile. And when you're at the climax of the movie, which is just two people playing tennis.
Yeah.
And he does,
Is it?
And he does this thing with the racket that is meaningful and loaded and
Says everything.
says everything. And you see Mike Feist and his reaction of like, fuck off. What? And the slow smirk that creeps across Josh O'Connor's face, where first it's just like a coy, like, yeah. And then he just can't help it. And the smile radiates through his whole body. And he's just like,
He
Yeah, I
just
got
it's
you.
so good.
He
So good.
nods and smiles and closes his eyes like, yes, brother.
Yeah.
You heard me right.
Yes.
And the theater exploded.
Yeah.
And we all knew it was coming.
Yeah.
We saw it.
But my jaw dropped from just like, again, execution of just let's fucking go.
Yeah, yeah, so good. So it's such a good like bubble pop moment that you've been feeling inflate since for the entire movie. But like, there's also in that moment he does that. It creeps across his face, and then the Mike Feist character Art is livid, of course, as you would be, and then a smile creeps across his face.
And you realize these are just two teen fucking boys.
Yeah, they're still
back
teen
in
boy.
there.
Yeah. And she has no idea what the fuck is
No
going on.
idea what's going on.
But I know, and you know,
And
that
we all know.
Yeah, we all know. But I need to play the best tennis I've ever had.
And then they start playing.
And then they start playing the best
fucking
tennis that they've.
tennis.
Yeah, and
he evens the score. He lets the next ball play.
yeah,
It is such a
lets it go to tie break.
gorgeous
That's
ending. He says, let's level the playing field for real.
yeah,
Stop playing it easy on me.
yeah.
And that was my question to you guys was, do you think the ending proved that Art finally beat Patrick? Or do you think Patrick had to let him win?
We're
gotta
going
go
to be
to a
now
whole
full
scoring
spoiler
thing.
territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before actually we get there, what if I told you that the most iconic parts of this movie that you're thinking about aren't in the script?
Wow.
How is that even possible?
Just like on the day.
No. Well, obviously they rewrote the script.
Yeah.
But I went back to the screenplay that's published online to see, because I wanted to find that.
You know this was written by a YouTuber?
Yes, I do. YouTuber's a
Oh, loose turn.
Okay.
He just has a YouTube account, and he's also a professional
Makes
writer.
short films.
he has
on
a
YouTube.
very viral old moment.
Got it.
But the scene that Tashi, that we've been citing, where she first talks about how tennis is a relationship, that's not in the script, in the original script, which tells me that Luca was cooking.
Yeah.
When you get a director and probably working with Zendaya as a producer, like they looked at this script and they nurtured it and they said, okay, let's
What's in
work
this
on
thing?
this.
Yeah.
And so they pulled that out. What was also not in the original script, the threesome.
Oh.
That scene.
Well, let's be fair. It's not a
It's
threesome.
not a threesome.
Okay.
Everyone's talking about the threesome movie. They kiss. That's it. It's a threesome
There
kiss.
is no sex in the movie.
Except for
The
car they showed
they just
post-coital.
jump.
Yeah.
They just do a
you're right.
post-coital thing. There's no sex in the
I
movie.
know. I did kind
Everybody,
of go,
this
you
is
guys all kind of jerked me off over
no
my pants
fuck
a little
off.
bit
This
there.
is the hottest movie, and it has zero sex in it.
Fair.
For you to like do we're in a Game of Thrones era where it's just like, okay, well, everybody's fucking. This is crazy. There's so much sex in this thing, and then for sensuality just to radiate throughout an entire film and get
everything is sex.
Everything is sex. You get more bothered by a movie without sex in it.
It's the edging film. You
Yeah,
said it
it's the edging
perfectly.
film.
That's why.
But it's crazy to me because to me, the whole movie turns on this scene this moment where Zendaya is laying down on the bed. And as you said, she's looking up and she has this power and she's watching. I'm making my little toys play.
Do you get it now?
No.
Do you fucking get it?
I don't get it now.
Girlie's out
Not
there.
the way you want me to get
You're looking
it.
at me and I'm looking at you and you fucking get it now.
But that moment is something that was developed as they were writing the story.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy to me and awesome and shows me like, wow, thank God that Luca found this and worked with him and pulled it out and turned it into this sexual odyssey.
I was just going to say the little pat on the bed that she does was very funny. And then they all jumped. They both jumped.
I saw a tweet that pointed out that the beds were pushed together before she got there.
Hilarious.
For what it's worth.
I love that.
What else was not in the original script?
That's if I was rooming with my boy and somebody was coming over and I knew that they were coming over and it was just like one of us was going to sleep with them, I would absolutely push the beds together.
That makes no sense.
Regardless. It's just like somebody's having sex tonight.
But why would you push two beds together?
To have a bigger bed.
Were they little?
Yeah, it's two twin beds or two full-size beds.
Garrick needs some room to work.
I need some room to work.
Listen.
The other thing that was not in the original script, and this is why I brought it up now, the ending. I want to read you.
What do you mean?
The ending.
That doesn't make sense.
How does it not end like that?
So they are playing. Both men look at each other from across the net. Okay. This is after the revelation that we're talking about. It ends very quickly. Art looks over at Tashi, who is looking at Patrick. Tashi feels Art.
Wait, slow down. Say that again.
Art looks over at Tashi, who's looking at Patrick. Tashi feels Art's eyes on her and looks over at her husband. He can see now that she understands exactly what is happening. Okay, so we continue forward. Both men look at each other from across the net. Let's really play now. So they start playing. They are, as they trade blows, so they're going back, forth, back, forth. Patrick pounces on the return, and they rally. It's clear immediately that both of them are playing their best tennis in years, the best tennis of their lives. They smack the ball at each other furiously, vengefully, looking wildly alive. As they trade blows, we settle on Tashi, her head swiveling back and forth between the two of them. Gradually, her look of anxiety turns to one of exhilaration.
Oh, shit!
Thwack, 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 thwack. She grits her teeth and clenches her fists, playing as Art, playing as Patrick, playing as the ball itself. Thwack, thwack, thwack. The ball goes into the net, but we stay on Tashi. We don't know who won the point. Even as the crowd cheers and Tashi leaps to her feet. Come on!
That's good.
Cut to black.
But that's a good ending. That's also a good ending.
So, but all they changed was Art won?
No, there's nobody, you don't know, because they're in tiebreak, and tiebreak is first to 7, win by 2.
So let's set the stage. Sorry. So they play this point, they have this revelation, they go to play again, and we see this final point.
Oh, I didn't know tiebreak was you start back over. I thought tiebreak just went to
it's all ones. It's not like 15, 30, 40.
Wait, so they did kind of end it on this ending then?
It's kind of, it's just like you wouldn't know who.
Yes, but no. No. Because
what's the difference?
They play this point, and it's the greatest point of their fucking life, right? Mm-hmm. They're going back and forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And they're getting closer and closer and closer to each other, which is exciting but dangerous in tennis.
Yeah.
The closer you get, the smaller your room of error. And they're going pop, 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 at a point where it is insane how close they are. The ball pops up into the sky, and Art jumps into the air, leaps for a spike, which you never, ever, ever would see Art do. No. He's the ice. He's not the fire. We saw even earlier in the movie when they were doing a net volley, he ducked out of the way so that Patrick could take it. So he goes for a spike, and at this point, my fucking asshole is clenching. Because I think that
he's
Art about to injure himself.
I think he's gonna bash his fucking face in with the.
That's what I thought too. I thought he was coming in to also. I
didn't think he was about to get injured, but I was like, I hope he doesn't get injured because from the beginning of this rally, I definitely heard that direction in the script of just like, let's play for real.
That felt.
I'm not trying to hurt you, because he smiles.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
you're
I'm
right,
not
you're
trying
right.
to hurt you. I'm not trying to do it.
Wait,
Let's fucking do this.
So they go back, forth.
brain hurts.
Patrick goes, Art goes up in the air, goes to a spike, goes so high up that he jumps over the fucking net into Patrick's arms.
And they
And the ending point is the fucking climax. They had sex. Tashi jumps up onto her hands and knees.
Yeah.
Tashi jumps up from her seat and yells, "Come on!" Which is the line we saw her earlier when she won that point, because what she just saw for the first fucking time is tennis.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who won or who lost, because they did the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And now what if I told you that Art lost that point?
Yeah.
You do not jump over a net.
He touched the net.
I was gonna say,
But it doesn't matter.
We didn't
because
see
it's
the
just
end of
like
the
it's
game.
1-0.
And we didn't
And it's
see-
first to 7.
So
and
everyone,
so you know you're about to see 6 more.
Yeah,
points,
you're gonna see
at
6
least
more, but
of
6
that.
more of that.
Of that.
And what the victory was not winning the point. It wasn't winning
Had
the
nothing
game.
to do with it.
It was
he
playing
figured out how to
tennis.
play
How to
tennis
play
again.
tennis. Not even again. I think this is the first
he
time
lost-
he's
maybe.
played tennis.
And
Like
so
I feel
then
like
now
this is
you have to assume that
this is
that ignites.
yeah. This is where that's why
But
I
it
think
also
that he
doesn't
goes on
matter
to
what-
win
It
the
doesn't
US
matter. Yeah,
win
I would
the
argue-
US Open and all that stuff. He might
yeah,
lose that
yeah.
game.
It doesn't matter what happens next because he did it. Tennis
I like to
about
think
that
he
moment.
won the U.S. Open, completed, retired, and she went on to coach Patrick. But they all still stayed in
Yeah.
a happy throuple.
But
I want
they
them
all
to
fuck
become
each other.
a
The Caterpillars.
him to become a doubles team again.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be that'd be sick. Because I also believe that this is why I truly believe that this is like the best coaching of all time, where it's just like the obsession of like actually crossing a line. Like she fully crossed a line in order to get something out of her I guess player or student, whatever.
Yeah.
And get him to a place that he's never been,
Sorry,
which
it was-
is not even from me saying I fucked your friend, but like your friend telling you I fucked your wife.
Literally,
And-
me, like, okay, not to say that this movie's about me, but I am a bisexual with a knee injury who's also dating an athlete / I coach him in our backyard when I hit tennis balls at him.
Yeah.
And the poor athlete was so confused driving home last night. He was like, none of that coaching style made sense. Like, why would she do that? I was like, no, you can't think logically about it. Like, she was like trying to hurt him, but in a way that would help him. And he's like, no, that would destroy his. I was like, no, you have to stop thinking about it like an athlete. This is an actual movie where this doesn't
this
make
is
sense.
a film for entertainment. Like let's look at that.
Are y'all ready for some fun facts?
How do we
my
have
God.
fun facts?
There's no way there's fun
So
facts.
while I am very confident in my reading of the ending of the movie,
Yeah.
Zendaya's mom is not.
Oh.
Yes, I remember. Like we
So
that.
Zendaya's mom reads the ending so different. She and actually I didn't read the rest of this article, so I don't know what they say the ending of the movie is. But quote, she's pissed because they realize, she meaning Tashi, Tashi's pissed because they realize that they don't need her anymore. And she reads the ending as the two men realizing that all they ever needed was each other, and they don't need her. And Zendaya goes, but I was like, I smile a bit at the end. My mom was watching it behind me, and every time my character does something bad or cheats on her husband or whatever, she's like, why did you do that? She's so angry with Tashi. She's so upset. But it's interesting. I was like, what? I don't know where you got that from. I'm in the movie and I feel like I have a good sense of what I thought the ending was supposed to be. And she was like, no, this is what it is. So sorry.
That is an interesting take.
That's no shade to Zendaya's mom. That's a very simple take on the film. I feel like that's a very traditional take on what it is, but I don't think that was it.
Tashi's reaction makes it a fun way to think of the ending.
Luca adds, but Tashi's a director.
Yeah.
She's like Lermontov in The Red Shoes, a reference we all know.
Sure.
She makes things happen. And maybe your mom is right. Maybe Tashi wants them to find each other. But I love also hearing Luca just come out and say the quiet part out loud. This is his, he sees himself in Tashi. He is, as he directs films and whatever fucking mind games he plays with the people in his life to bring out the best in them. He sees this as a movie about art.
Yeah,
which I think is cool.
And after watching this movie, I was like, I don't think I want to see any more movies about art. I fully like I think I'm like a little disgusted by them now. I don't love like us making art about art where it's just like, look at how tortured we are. Look at how wild this is that I am bringing forth my truth to the silver screen or whatever, while you're just kind of like, it feels pretty braggadocious on artists itself to be an artist and be like, I need to talk about this other artist because you as a general populace do not understand what we put ourselves through in order to bring this to the screen.
Got it.
It feels too self-serving. But if you do it about athletes, that's one-to-one.
Use
that
something else
right
as your proxy. Talk about art.
Yeah. Use another proxy. It's less one-to-one. It's more it's more fun to watch.
Continuing from this Kyle Buchanan interview, he talks about the end is a big decisive moment, but at the same time, Zendaya says confusing. Mike Feist says it's interpretive. Kyle Buchanan says because you don't give some sort of coda denouement. The audience has to supply it themselves. What happens after this huge moment? Luca. They go back to the hotel room.
So fun.
So this is a movie about a three-way entanglement of different souls, as was last year's film, Past Lives, a movie that Garrick loved.
Yeah.
What if I told you that Celine Song and the screenwriter of this movie are married?
It's
I
so
told
funny.
you this last night.
Yeah, but I'm telling the fucking audience.
Yeah, we got to tell the audience.
Jerk.
Yeah.
Butthole.
Loved Past Lives.
What do you think we're doing here?
You tell us fun facts. Every week,
That is the most fun fact for the audience.
Me and Garrick get fun facts, and we are always blown away. This is the first time you ever told me a fun fact that I knew. All right?
So funny.
So big moment.
That's a good fact.
It's a good fact. I love Past Lives. Past Lives is so good. They're definitely in a throuple for sure.
Oh, I want to know what's going on
Absolutely.
in that fucking house.
Yeah.
This isn't a fun fact, but it's just a tweet that I found funny from I'm Not Catholic. Emerald Fennell tried so hard to make the classic erotic thriller film nerds have been begging for years, only to be outdone by a fucking sports movie, lol. Any opportunity to dunk on Saltburn, I will take it. That movie sucks.
Never. Why didn't we do that?
Because it sucks.
Yeah.
What do you think half of the films we do?
No, but that one like sucks in a way that it thinks it's smart. Whereas I'd rather talk about a movie that sucks that's like, oh, but actually it's great, and here's why it's overlooked.
Also, everybody...
This year, at some point...
No, we're not doing it. I will be not here.
There are 3 of us in this podcast.
The movie fucking sucks.
I haven't seen it, but everybody...
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it. I
you
only
gotta
saw
see
like...
it just to like say you saw it.
Yeah, maybe. I saw like pieces of it, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then I immediately called it White People Parasite. And I was like, yeah, that's fair. And then somebody else pointed out, it was like, has nobody ever seen The Talented Mr. Ripley? It is that.
So in the film, both Zendaya and Patrick wear a shirt that says, I told ya.
Yeah.
It is a shirt that Zendaya's wearing, and then when they break up, Patrick's wearing it, and then years later, he wears it to go see them, which like, boy...
Hilarious.
Patrick, you are dirty.
Yeah,
You're a messy, messy man.
Yeah.
I like that.
But
I love
that
mess.
shirt, you can buy it for a cool $300.
Price.
Oh, shit.
The original?
Whatever this shirt is, this ugly gray shirt with text
It
on
says,
it.
I told you?
Yeah.
It's probably streetwear. I bet you.
$300?
$300 hairs.
The bear shirt isn't even that much.
Well, now you can buy it on TeePublic for $16. So there you go.
Yeah. Somebody, copy it.
It's a really ugly shirt.
Infringe it.
And final fun fact, did you know that after this film, churro sales went up 500%?
Okay, no one's talking enough about that churro shop.
Yeah, that churro scene was crazy. That was
was the
also
threesome.
extremely sensual.
Yeah.
They're in the cafeteria. Mike Feist is walking out with 2 churros. Josh O'Connor uses his leg to pull the stool right next to him. He sits down, and then, man, that gif of... the gifs of this movie are going to be flooding my feeds forever.
Yeah.
Of the gif of him biting that churro knob.
Yeah.
Ready.
That was
gonna be
also
on
unscripted. It was
Patrick taking a bite of the churro and letting Art take one was unscripted.
Nice.
Josh O'Connor was starving, and it was his first time he ever had churros.
Wow.
Huh.
The British, they are so starved.
We love ourselves some alt casting. I can't imagine anyone
Nobody
else
else.
in this film, but
Nobody
honestly,
else.
I can imagine people that want this film.
Weirdly, this movie has no other cast member. It is just those 3.
I don't know if you noticed there. Okay, so when they're at the party early on, when they're smoking the cigarette down on the beach, and he's Patrick's drilling her about like, why are you going to go to college? What, so you can like beat some fucking girl into submission? And he says a name. That girl goes on to play pros, and when Tashi is like, I think she's sitting in the hotel lobby. Like drinking whiskey. That girl is on TV.
Yeah, and she was like, "This was the girl. That's the girl that she would have demolished." She was demolished. Yeah, she was like
demoralizing
so much better than
and
her.
demolished.
Yeah, I remember like mentally pointing that out.
Mike Feist, the great. I can't imagine anyone else but him. But before they were considering Austin Butler and Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Of course.
And on the other side,
Dune Part 3.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh my God! Wait, imagine if this movie were just. Well, yeah, it's Zendaya and wow, it's too much. Too much.
That's way too much.
Before Patrick Zweig, before Josh O'Connor for Patrick Zweig, they were looking at Austin Abrams, Dominic Fike, and Jacob Elordi.
Nah.
Too big.
Elordi wants this movie so bad.
Too tall.
And then Luca visited Zendaya on set of Dune Part 2 in order to complete her ADR lines.
Yeah, and probably say stuff to Timmy, his boy.
Oh, and this is everyone's favorite fun fact. I can't believe we didn't say this. So, the greatest performance in this movie is not from Zendaya. It's not from Josh O'Connor.
No, it is not.
It's not from Mike Feist.
No, it is not.
It is from the line judge.
Darnell.
Played by Darnell Appling, who is Zendaya's personal assistant. And finding his little cameos and small roles has become now the best part about seeing Zendaya movies.
Yeah.
He's perfect as the line judge.
Yeah. It's like one of her best friends, right?
Yeah.
Is that through being a personal assistant, or did she make her friend her personal assistant? Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
He was assistant first.
Okay.
And became best friends.
Great.
Yeah.
It's just so I know I said it, but I feel like I can't say it enough. How electric the filmmaking is. It's so fun. The script is tight. The score kicks ass. I've been just like doing everything in my life to it. I love this movie. This feels like we are so back kind of movie.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that reminds you why you love movies, what movies can do, the way it can play with your emotions, the way that style can be styled. Oh, I loved it.
How much was it made for? I need that.
I think 50 million.
50? Yeah. Nothing. It didn't even not nothing, of course, but like we're so conditioned to seeing,
the big
$300 million movies.
It'll be interesting to see if this movie can make back its budget because movies have such short windows in theaters now.
Yeah.
Like this was a totally great opening, but we'll see. I recommend you see see I recommend you see it on a big screen.
Yeah.
It doesn't, from what we're describing, maybe you go like, oh, this is like a character drama. I can wait till it's No.
See it on a screen.
The visuals and the sound, the blaring, the music over dialogue.
There is something also so intense about seeing all of the actors' faces big, and I think that close, it just, and that sweaty, it adds to the overall, like, I don't know, passion of it. I feel
like we're talking about this of like, imagine like the makeup artist on set, like they probably had just a sweat maker person like running across the night, like they need to be drenched more. There's not enough drops. I want the screen more to be soaking wet.
Yeah,
that motherfucker he should have gotten paid the most.
Yeah. Because, playing in New York in the summer or whenever.
Not sweaty enough.
Not sweaty enough.
Wasn't
it's humid as
enough.
shit.
Never sweaty
enough. Guys, I'm at Corn Diddy on all the things.
I'm Kelsey Darragh on all the things.
I'm Garrick Bernard on all the things.
Yeah,
and until next time, come on!